Good morning, traders. Matt Weller here, Global Head of Research with FOREX.com. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of August, 2026, and I'm here to bring you a special preview of tomorrow's highly anticipated and likely volatile US CPI report, as well as a recap of all the news that you've missed over the last 12 hours or so. Let's get right into it. Broadly speaking, I would say markets are consolidating. They continue to digest the developments between Iran and Oman, which are negotiating on a path through the Strait of Hormuz. Notably, the U.S. is not involved yet in these conversations. So the sort of slow progress here and lack of inclusion of the U.S. is keeping oil prices supported. Also, traders are hesitant to commit too strongly one way or another ahead of that US CPI report tomorrow. Traders are pricing in about 50-50 odds that the Federal Reserve could raise interest rates at its next meeting, so this CPI report could tip the scales one way or another and lead to a lot of market volatility. Just jumping down to the bottom bullet here, traders and economists are expecting CPI to rise 0.1% month over month, 3.4% on a headline basis. The core reading, though, is at least a little bit more reassuring for the Federal Reserve. That's expected to rise 0.2% month over month, with the year over year rate expected at 2.5%. There's really no data during today's U.S. session, and then looking back over the European and Asian sessions, there wasn't too much market moving. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Reserve Bank of Australia left interest rates unchanged as expected, but did hint at a likely interest rate hike either later this year or as we move into early 2027, and that is keeping the Australian dollar supported. Many of you know I like to use an average of the PMI price components to project CPI in the future. You can see this on the chart here. The ISM numbers basically held steady. I do suggest there's some potential upside pressure on this month's CPI report, so keep an eye out for that. I don't think necessarily we'll see the gap between CPI and the PMI price components close immediately, but it's certainly something that could hint at some upside risk to this CPI report. And finally, today's chart of the day is the US dollar index here on a 4-hour chart, not a daily chart, a 4-hour chart. We can see very clear support has emerged so far this month in the 99.40 region. That's also where we saw a low all the way back in June. And I'll highlight that we see a bullish momentum divergence with the 14-period RSI on this time frame. The RSI here in the lower panel made a higher low, though price itself made a marginal lower low. This tells us that there was less downside momentum when the US dollar index tested that 99.40 level most recently, and hints that that selling pressure could be fading. This is often something that we see at more significant bottoms in the market, so perhaps this chart too suggests some potential upside for the US dollar. We'll see how the CPI report comes out. We'll see how traders digest it in terms of what it means for Federal Reserve policy, but certainly you'll want to be at your desks 8:30 Eastern time for tomorrow's very impactful release. That is today's video. Thank you for carving a couple minutes out of your day to watch. If I could ask just one quick favor before you go, please do drop a like on this video. It's a free way to show your support that helps us with the algorithms. And if you're not already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel at FOREX.com for more videos like this. Thanks again, and best of luck with your trades today.